So I kind of had an idea of the sequence of events that were happening around the world. And what this has helped me to do is create a timeline and put together some cohesive structure around the literature that exists, and finding out where the gaps are, interviewing people, and trying to find out, okay, where are the gaps, where do I need to go to find the knowledge to really evidence what it is that I'm trying to say with the research.
I've always been somebody who's adopted an approach of just being open to inquiries, open to invitations to participate. Networking becomes increasingly important as your research career develops, who you know, and I think also an immense willingness to be able to spin on a penny, which is, I've often been asked, could you do a conference at point blank range? And I always say yes. Your ability to be able to communicate readily, easily, frequently, to summarize, to encapsulate, becomes a kind of key skill.
I've got what we call emerging research status. Up till now, I've been doing lots and lots of reading around my subject. I've attended a few conferences in my field and have started building research networks. I'm just writing my first paper, which I'll be presenting at a conference in London. It's about teaching sustainability, about my teaching practice, and this research was based around a workshop that I did in India.
I conduct practice-based research or practice-oriented research where my textile design practice becomes the primary method of investigation. In relation to data generation, I use a multidisciplinary approach where I work with textile technology, electronic technology, print processes, and generate qualitative and quantitative data in order to understand how certain materials work and how we actually can incorporate those materials onto textile surfaces in order to generate these multicolor and pattern changing textiles. I also conduct focus group interviews, observational research in order to understand how wearers or maybe potential users react to my fabrics.
I did a lot of interview for Chinese knitwear industry and higher design education systems, and I talking with the designers, and I did a case study and design practice research with a company for design some collection and collect people feedback, and then throughout fashion show and exhibitions to collect different people's feedback.
A lot of my research has come about by accident. I found the objects by accident. I fell over them almost, and so I very much follow my sense. I'm a practice-led researcher, so having worked as a costumier in theatre, my research is very much driven by the practice and the practical side of material culture and material culture analysis.
The main body shape and size characteristic of children, including their growth rate and size and age classifications, also gender differences were collected. And next, the data of national sizing surveys and standards, including the current the brand size chart of children's clothing brands in the UK and Korea, also were compared. And finally, the customer survey were conducted and analysis to be aware of the difficulty in choosing size in both countries.
I use a case study research method. By using this method, I am able to collect evidence from different sources and compare the results. I am analyzing experimental fashion through the author theory framework adopted from media studies, and I also use the concept of carnival, which was proposed by Russian scholar Mikhail Mikhailovich Bakhtin. My personal practice as an experimental designer give me substantiation and authority in the development of the authorship theory from the author point of view. I am exploring how experimental fashion is defined by museum curators, prize-awarding bodies, gatekeepers, other gatekeepers institutions, of the fashion industry, and a typology emerging from comments of members of the public about experimental fashion and the crimes of experimental designer on the online media.
Overall, the main thing I look for is the silhouette, because ultimately whatever pattern was on the vards initially gets completely covered up. When people first see my work, quite often they think it is ceramic and some sort of strange glaze that they've not seen before. So there is a sort of slight confusion in people's minds as when they first see it. And then when people actually understand that it's textile, when people then pick it up, there's a surprise with my work because quite often it flexes.
I propose to build up the platform of interactive design based on the website. The platform includes the database of the garments with the varieties of the design elements, which can be searched, chosen, and assembled virtually by the consumer online. The consumers can further place orders through the platform after identifying their preferences. Meanwhile, I'm going to explore technical approaches through which the customized garment can be produced